I built wide shoulders as a teenager by just doing lateral raises and face pulls. And so one day, a few years ago, I woke up. It was after a shoulder day, and I look at my shoulders, I flex my shoulders, and I particularly see my front delts have gotten bigger. My goal was to build my side delts and my rear delts. But I see my front shoulder muscle, like this muscle, have gotten bigger. And this wasn't my goal at all. Like, I just wanted wide shoulders. I slowly realized that the reason why my front delts are getting too big as compared to my side and rear delts is because I'm prioritizing too much of my front shoulders, my front delts. So first of all, front delts are basically the front of your shoulder, side delts is the side of your shoulder, and rear delts is the rear of your shoulder. And so my goal was to have a rounded shoulder, a rounded look to your shoulders, which is so attractive to girls, and you will like your physique so much more if you have the rounded shoulder look. But to have this look, you need to have big side and rear delts. I realized that front delts don't mean shit. Like, front delts literally have no place in building good shoulders. Apart from if you're flexing your arm like this, yeah, it's gonna be visible here. But other than that, I don't see any fucking logic in training front delts. What I was doing was I was starting my shoulder workouts. I was training them on a specific day. Starting it with shoulder press, barbell shoulder press. Because everyone was telling that to build big shoulders, you need to get stronger on some kind of press, either dumbbell press, either barbell press, it doesn't matter. You need to get stronger in some kind of press. So okay, I particularly like doing seated barbell press, so I'm gonna do seated barbell press. This is gonna grow my shoulders. Okay, I'm getting stronger. I'm progressively overloading slowly. One more rep than the last time. One more rep than the last time, and I see my front delts getting bigger. Like, what happened to my side and rear delts? What happened? I want to grow these muscles. Like, when you think about it logically, yeah, when you do this movement, your side delts get engaged too. But it's like, it doesn't grow them. I just realized it doesn't fucking grow them. So I was just starting with 4 sets of barbell shoulder press, and then I was moving to 4 sets of lateral raises, and I was doing my face pulls. But this was the reason why my shoulders didn't grow. This was the reason because I was prioritizing my front delts too much. And even sometimes I was doing a lot of front raises. Like, I remember one day in the gym, shoulder day, I was training my shoulders on a specific day, by the way, which I don't like. And so I was starting with lateral raises, 4 sets of lateral raises. No, I was starting with front raises, 4 sets of front raises, doing my front raises, and then 4 sets of lateral raises, and then 4 sets of face pulls or rear delt flies. When you think about it logically, yeah, you're working all head of the shoulders, but it's not a good workout. It didn't build me good shoulder mass. So link in the description is my full course to building your dream physique. Check it out. And the reason why I stopped doing this is because, as I said, it grew my shoulders too much. It grew my front delts too much. What I started to do after that was I started to start my shoulder workout with lateral raises. Started with like lateral delts, and then do rear delts, and then do the shoulder press. Afterwards, I even removed the shoulder press, but this is how I started to do it, and I seen way better results this way, way better. Because I go to the gym, I'm fresh, I have the energy. Why not put this energy into the muscles that I know are gonna change the fucking game for me? the muscles that I know are so much important in my physique and are gonna make me look so much more aesthetic. When I go to the gym, I'm energized, I have the energy. Why not put all my energy into these muscles? So I started to do this. I started to start the shoulder workout with either side lateral raises or rear delt flies or face pulls. Let's say either I start with lateral raises, I destroy my lateral delts and then I move on to rear delts and then I do the shoulder press, or I start with rear delts and then I move on to side delts and then I do the shoulder press, something like this. And I realized that the two exercises that grew my shoulders, like pay attention to this, the two exercises that are gonna explode your shoulders, that fucking built me good shoulder mass, was lateral raises, this exercise, and then face pulls. So lateral raises, particularly this, not like this movement, but this movement, lateral raises. Face pulls, cable face pulls, you know this, pulling from the upside. And these two exercises, I just started to do these two. I stopped training my shoulders on a specific day. I stopped having a shoulder day. I started hitting my side delts after chest and my rear delts after back. And for my side delts, I just did 4 sets of lateral raises. And for my rear delts, 3 sets of face pulls. Because like the rows and the pull-ups already like work the rear delts a little bit, but of course this doesn't mean that you shouldn't isolate them. This doesn't mean that. And these two exercises, I was doing them twice a week. Monday after chest and triceps, and then Thursday after chest and triceps. I was training every single muscle group twice per week. Tuesday after back and biceps, I was doing rear delts. And Friday after back and biceps, I was doing rear delts. Twice a week, and these two exercises grew my shoulders. I stopped doing any shoulder press. This is the reason why, because it's just like a waste of time for me. Like, of course, I sometimes enjoy doing it. Like, I'm gonna give this caveat. I enjoy doing it sometimes. Yeah, like I wanna record some clips of me hitting shoulder press. Yeah, like I enjoy, pressing a weight up, but it's not what maximized my shoulder development. But as I said, doing it after the lateral raises worked very well, particularly like if I start the shoulder workout and I do, let's say, 3 sets of lateral raises, really destroy my lateral delts, and then I move on to the shoulder press. This way it works better because I kind of get a pre-exhaustion. Like an example I'm going to give you is, let's say you're training legs, you do squats, and then you do deadlifts, and then you do leg extensions, and then you do leg curls. But one day you decide you first start with leg curls, not leg extensions. You do, say, 2-3 sets of leg extensions, and then you move on to the squat. What you're gonna find is when you move on to the squat, your hip flexors, your quads are gonna be more engaged because you've already worked them in the leg extension. That's what works with shoulders as well. You start with lateral raises, destroy the delts like 3-4 sets really hard, and then after you move on to the shoulder press, you're gonna notice that your side delts work more because you've already like pumped some blood into them. You've already given the concentration into this muscle. So when you're doing the exercise, you have some pump here and you focus on this pump instead of this pump, and you work your side delts more. So this actually works. But to grow nice shoulders, of course, you need a good workout routine that prioritizes your side and rear delts, and that's why the first link in the description is my full course to building a dream physique. But what didn't work for me was starting the shoulder workout with shoulder press, or just doing shoulder press on, let's say, on upper body day. So you need to learn the importance of side and rear delts, because your side shoulders are actually so important. Like when you have this wide shoulders, your physique looks so much more attractive. You can see all these guys who are attracting girls with their physiques, all these guys who have aesthetic physique, they all have big side delts and also rear delts. This is like a very important thing. They train their side delts and rear delts. I always see these guys starting their shoulder workout with just lateral raises. They don't do any shoulder press. Or they do it, but they do it after the lateral raise. Does that make sense? And also the rear delts. Like if you, like there's no person in the gym, there's no person around the world who goes to the gym who has small front delts, who has underdeveloped front delts. Every single person who goes to the gym has overdeveloped front delts and underdeveloped side and rear delts. That's the key. That's it. That's it. That's fucking it. I don't see any fucking guy who has weak front delts. Why? I want to ask you why. Why do you think no one has weak front delts? Everyone's front delts are huge or are very strong. Why? Well, why? Of course, it's because they're already getting trained on your presses, on your chest movements. You're doing dips, you're doing incline dumbbell press, incline barbell press, flat barbell press. Your front delts get huge engagement. And then after that, if you're doing shoulder press, it gets more engagement. And if you add in fucking front raises, which is a fucking stupidity, by the way, you will get even bigger. Like even fucking bigger. I realized this. And that's why I only started training my side and rear delts, basically. And so the reason why I don't have a shoulder day, the reason why I don't train my shoulders on a specific day is because I find my shoulders stupidly easy to grow. They are so easy to grow, to get bigger. And I don't find any logic behind having a specific day in which I train my shoulders. So I just train my side delts after chest and my rear delts after back and biceps. That's it. That's it. It's like lateral raises and face pulls and then doing the shoulder press. But giving a huge priority to these muscles. The way I train them is, of course, training like a prisoner. How do you think prisoners train? How do you think guys in the prison train? Of course they train hard, right? They're not there just fucking... Yo, subject. They're fucking pushing, dying, like... They're destroying themselves. Fucking, like, seriously. That's why these guys get huge. So I started training like a prisoner when I'm doing my side delts. When I'm doing any exercise for any body part. Today we're talking about shoulders. I'm doing the lateral raises and I'm fucking, come on, 10 reps. I can't do anymore. Come on, I'm gonna do more. Push. Come on. Come on. One more. I push for one more rep. It's pretty hard. Pretty hard. I just get up till about here. And I try to go for another rep. And I can't go. I just do partials. And I can't move my arm anymore. I just drop it. This is how prisoners train. They all train hard. That's why when they come out of the prison, they're fucking huge. So I started training like a prisoner without caring about weight too much, without focusing on lifting too heavy, like cheating, with good form, full range of motion, training really hard, still with good form like this. I'm pushing very hard. It's getting pretty fucking difficult. Come on, 2 more. Come on. I have a spotter in my back, and he's like pushing me. Come on. Come on. Come on. Fucking. That's why I started to train, and these fucking babies here exploded. And another thing that helped me is eating a great grandfather diet. I want to ask you, how do you think your great grandfathers used to eat? How do you think how do you think they were so fit? What do you think they used to eat? Well, they used to eat whole foods, right? Potatoes, rice, beef, yeah, eggs, chicken, a lot of meat, vegetables. So I started to eat like this. I started to eat like how my great grandfathers used to eat. And I started to bulk, eat a lot of foods, like stuff myself with these foods to focus on gain weight because I realized that gaining weight is what builds muscle. When you're losing weight, when you're losing fat, it is so hard to build muscle. It's even so hard to maintain the muscle, never mind even grow it. And so that's it. So I started eating great grandfather diet and really gaining weight. The first thing in the description is my full course to building a dream physique. Check it out.